Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I want to apologize to everyone who loves this game, especially you, Ross. I do apologize. Um, I will absolutely admit to being frustrated with this freaking game. And while I was driving out to the UPS store and driving back from the UPS store, I was chewing on why, because it's always important why, right? Like, why is this game pissing me off so much? Obviously, the encounter rate is just aggravating, but more than that, I feel like it's because this part of the game, the exact part of the game we've been going through, kind of sucks. Um, so let's really process this for a second. So the story, let's focus on the story for a moment. As we are moving through the story up to the point at which we reach Angel Tower, very few complaints. In fact, actually, let me double check here. Yeah, we have exactly 2 negatives for that entire arc. And that's just pretty impressive. Like, that whole section is just solid, right? And then we have the reset and the time skip. Okay, cool. But it doesn't handle the time skip particularly well because other than Nina and Ryu, nothing's really changed. Okay, that's exaggeration. There are like 2 other people who have changed. But it really is a very small number of people. For all intents and purposes, it feels like it's been a month. The only reason I know it's been longer than that is because Gar mentioned the word years and the fact that Nina and Ryu have grown up. So, doesn't handle the time skip very well, but I'm willing to let that go. But it's like the beginning of the bad part narratively, because Gar's like, I've got this motivation, and that's great. That's awesome. I'm with that. Gar's the main character. Absolutely. So we have to go to Angel Tower. No problem. So naturally, the first thing we do is we go on a frickin' side quest to fix the plant. Okay. Actually, no. The first thing we do is we deal with the whole Nina thing and the McNeil thing, and that leads to the Detheaven thing. Now, that was good. But then it's like, okay, now we go to the plant. Okay. And having gone back through the plant, I didn't really like that section all that much. It was supposed to be Momo's moment, right? It was supposed to be Momo's section, but it kind of wasn't. The only thing we really learned was that her father was complicit in things, but she didn't really change or react to that other than being like, huh, okay. The only thing we got out of that was nature's course should be followed, and that's it. I will admit it was more important from like a world building kind of perspective because Crazy Norse is correct. The food problem has been present the entire game, literally to the second scene in the third scene of the game. So following through on that makes sense. But I don't feel like they handle it well at all, and they needed to have a character lens for that to actually push forward. And instead, Momo's just like, oh, okay, cool. I wonder where the machines are coming from. And she comes with us. And I was like, all right. And it's not bad. But you could see how from the awesomeness of the first couple of acts, it's just kind of like, oh, okay. Then we go to Angel Tower. Cool. So we go down Angel Tower. I must talk to Miria. And Miria's like, nope, sorry. And so we get Deus. We must free Deus. Okay. So we go do an area to do an area to do an area to get to a boss fight in order to go back to Deus and free Deus. Okay, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. And Deus is like, all right, go north. I'm going to give you the super special thing. It's going to let you go north. Okay, cool. So now we got to go north. How do we go north? And then we spend like 5 hours essentially spinning our wheels, trying to get to the point where we can get the ship repaired so we can try to go north, which fails, so we can get on board the black ship. So we get on board the black ship, then we go north, and then we warp back. And I know that I'm being a little exaggerative, but this whole section feels like they were just trying to pad out the runtime because narratively, what it feels like should have happened is we should have gone to the tower, interacted with Deus there, not go do the little side quest, but just there's Deus. We free her. Bzz. She has her scene. Eye of the Tiger plays. Cool. And then she's like, all right, you got to go north. You got to go across the ocean. Okay, we'll need a boat. No. None of those boats are going to work. You're going to have to get on board the automated ship. Okay, no problem. So you go get the ship. You have the little ship section. You ram into the thing. Bam. You head north. And you notice how many steps I just skipped over? And it doesn't help that the steps I skipped over, in addition to being narrative spinning your wheels, are also gameplay spinning your wheels, because they also include the freaking parts section and the freaking sushi section. neither of which are great. That's why I'm irritable right there, is because we're in that middle part of the game where, as Crazy Norse pointed out, it feels like it's simultaneously rushed. Shisu. It feels like it's simultaneously rushed and stretched at the same time, and that's never a good feeling when it comes to a story. Now, I know the story is going to pick right back up again once we get to Dragonair or whatever the hell the name of it is, but, you know, do not appreciate. And so, congrats on the burping. So, yeah, I guess that's actually it. I apologize for the rant, but it's just, it really feels like this section wasn't really planned out or wasn't really thought out or something. I don't know. I don't have behind the scenes information. Something fumbled somewhere because the child section had very few missteps. And by contrast, the adult section so far has had very few good parts. It has had good parts. I've given many positives for the adult section. But it's just night and day compared to the child section. Yeah, because as Savicom says, clearing out the gang? Absolutely. Doing the sushi thing? Now, ironically, we are now at the point where we're finally getting back on track, because once we finish this dungeon, we'll be in Dragnir, and we'll be back on track with Brood, and the boss fights, and the desert, which we're almost at. This... Savicom is absolutely correct. I feel like this whole section would be substantially smoothed out if it was optional.
The 10th.
Sis?
Wednesday.
Hi, sis.
Hi.
Wednesday.
Your niece wanted to know what time it was.
Ah, okay. This will probably score better than BOF 1. At the moment, I know it looks like it's a net negative. I don't think that's going to stick. I think we're going to push up. But, in the interim, let's move on with it. Sorry, I did go a couple of screens, because I just needed a moment to vent, so I was just like, ah! So I vented for a second. And,
You feel better now.
yeah, I do feel better. I got some air. Air always makes me feel better, like real air. And, mailed a thing, and picked up a package. Got a Coke for my sister.
Sister likes Cokes.
She does. Could someone do me a favor? What was the golden number for BOF 1 and BOF 2? Anybody, please? No rush. All right. We want... God, what do we want? No, you're absolutely right, Ross. Most JRPGs. I honestly think FF6 and Chrono Trigger are two of the extremely rare exceptions that do not have that middle padding sequence. Because FF6 is tight up to the World of Ruin, and then the World of Ruin, which is almost entirely optional, is just solid top to bottom. And Chrono Trigger actually follows the same format, if you pay attention. It's absolutely solid until the Freedom Point, and the Freedom Point also happens to include all the optional stuff you can do, which is all awesome, and then you're at the final boss. But I really do think those are the exceptions, not the rules. Because I'm having trouble thinking of another JRPG that nails the middle part. If anybody has any ideas or suggestions, I'm listening. Sis, you played lots of JRPGs. You should know this. I don't think she's listening. That's okay. -44 and -46. BOF 3 is going to score better than that. Absolutely guaranteed. Wait, I'm getting inconsistent information. People are lying to me. Who dares lie to me? -94 and -104 sounds a little bit more accurate. Either way, BOF 3 is going to do much better than that, I guarantee it. I am pretty sure we will crack positive on this. Make of that what you will. SMRPG actually does not count in my opinion. Because SMRPG does still have a bit of a filler section. It's not as bad as most of these do, but think about this. You finish the booster section, right? That's awesome. Then, you have to go through the next town. Well, first you have to go to the Store Road. Then you have to go through the boat. Then you have to go through Land's End, which is huge. And then you have to go through the frickin' Vine area, and then you get to Nimbus period. And I guess that doesn't sound like much. And like I said, it's not as bad as some, but that whole period in between Booster and Nimbus is a huge drag for me, personally. The funny thing is, most JRPGs do, when they have that middle UG section, we should just call that the UG section. When most JRPGs have that UG section, they almost always pick right back up, right? They almost go right back to quality towards the outro, at least the really good ones. Like SMRPG's outro is phenomenal. FF6 is, or not FF6, sorry, Earthbound's outro is phenomenal. Mystic Quest's outro is phenomenal. This game's outro is phenomenal. My memory. I shouldn't bear the lead on that. Lufia 2. Lufia 2's outro is phenomenal. The UG section for 7 is actually really easy to point to. Because there's actually 2 of them. One is the gap in between the ancient temple and crater. And I know there's one moment of good in that, but that's still a huge swath of essentially padding, right? I'm almost dead. Hang on a sec. Wow, we just died. Okay, we just straight up died. I'm astonished that's even possible. How did that even happen? The other UG section in FF7 is, when you're running around doing the big materia sequence, I would say. Like, I don't know. Because the thing is, I'd say it's the part right after that, but the part right after that is almost entirely optional, so that doesn't really count. Yeah, the part where Cloud is out. The moment Cloud gets back into the party is the best scene of the game, in my opinion. And then there's a whole lot of optional stuff, and then you hit the crater. But that section is just kind of like, come on. And just like most of these filler sections, it leads to nothing. You don't accomplish anything in that period of time. FF10? I know FF10 has an UG section. I just gotta remember where it is. I think it's pretty much starting with the wedding. Because it's like, you do the Bicanel arc, and the Bicanel arc is actually pretty decent. And then you leave, and then it's like, oh my god, Yuna's getting married. And then there's the wedding section, and then there's that one dungeon, and then there's one of the most irritating dungeons in the entire game. And then there's the freaking Calm Lands, which, ugh. And then there's that goddamn mountain. And then, obviously, it picks up towards the end. So, yeah, I would say that gap there would be the UG section for 10. For me. The Parkour Ninja Wedding. What am I doing? I've completely lost where I am. FF6 does not have an UG section. That's why I was mentioning it was one of the rare exceptions. FF6 and Chrono Trigger do not have UG sections. Alright, I'm ready, Ross. I'm ready. Ready to prove you wrong! I am curious, though. What's your UG section in Chrono Trigger? Unless you mean going up and down that mountain over again, in which case, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I'm gonna check my formations after this one. No, we're just past that Materia Keeper, thankfully. And by just past that, I mean we're actually quite a bit past that, because it feels like that was the last major plot point, but that was actually hours ago, because that's BOF 3. Our formation is wrong. I like it, Duck Cobra. Everyone's zombies, and the cure for zombieism is sushi. I mean, let's be honest. If anything is going to cure sushi in real life, or if anything's going to cure zombies in real life, it's sushi's. That's better. Really, Ross? Wow. Okay. No, that's it's UGG sections are opinion, and that's a valid opinion. Would you believe that's my favorite part of the entire game? In fact, I plan to gush about it tremendously when we get there, because it is extremely well designed. It's actually uniquely well designed. It's very, very rare. Chrono Trigger did a lot of unique things that just were against the formulas. And that section is a very good example of that. Almost every section in Chrono Trigger follows a very distinct pattern, just like most JRPGs do. Town, dungeon, boss, cutscene. Town, dungeon, boss, cutscene. Some of the particulars get mixed up, but that's pretty much the lineup, right? Then you get to 12,000 BC, and then there's not really a dungeon, and there's not really a boss. It's just town. It's an entire chapter of gameplay, and all of the usual design that would go into the gameplay section, all done as a town sequence. And obviously there's some great story stuff there, but there's also a lot of exploration, bonus little items you can get, and just general looking around you can do. It's really brilliant in its own right, especially because it perfectly makes it the turning point in the story. Like, it completely alters the tone and vibe of the story and adds a whole lot of extra layers to it. It is also the perfect lead up to what will eventually be the Undersea Palace sequence. Like, that whole sequence is some brilliant build-up. You should start with Chained Echoes, Walker, because it's probably a better game. Also, sis, if you're still muted, you're still muted. FYI.
I am now not muted.
Oh no, Dragon Quest 7. Ah! And yes, Momo, like I said, the time skip is not handled super well, in general. Well, no, it's like... Have you ever analyzed Star Wars A New Hope? Star Wars 4? The answer to this question should be
No.
Yeah, most people have not actually sat down and analyzed that film. I have. And the reason I bring that up, I've actually analyzed it multiple times. The reason I bring it up is A New Hope is not that great of a film. It does not stand amongst the giants. It does not do anything particularly unique. It is, in fact, extremely bog standard, very safe, very by the numbers. But what it does perfectly, near perfectly, I should say, is execution. And that's Chrono Trigger. Now, Chrono Trigger did break the envelope in several ways, but for the most part, it's just a really, really, really solid JRPG. It doesn't make a lot of mistakes. There's no fat. There's no tripping. There's no screw-ups. There's no, I have to play through this section. There's no, like, freaking, I don't know, there's no GTA sequence. So there's no slog, there's no fat, there's no grind, there's no crap. Chrono Trigger will score very well by sheer virtue of the fact that it is going to be absent negatives, right? And that's on top of some really, really solid gameplay from some of the best developers in the genre at the top of their game. So, it is an extremely tight game, and I do think it will score very well when we get there. Probably 300 plus at a minimum. But that's not how everybody thinks. Most people don't value things like that the way I do. So, Most people will probably think more modern RPGs, which make more mistakes and screw up more and have more flaws, are better because they do other things more, or they're more unique, or they're more different. Speaking of which, somebody asked, I didn't catch who it was, but somebody asked, under the new formula, what would be a good score for a game? Anything around 80 is what I would generally consider very good. Down to about 60-ish is closer to average. 40 to 60 is more like averagely good. 80 and up is a very solid thumbs up. Change the facing of the antenna with the directional button. Look for the angle with the least amount of noise. When you find it, press the X button to end alignment.
That's supposed to be helpful. Because it didn't sound helpful.
It sounds helpful to me. Nothing happened. Alright, we've screwed up the angle.
And you said it was helpful.
Could be, although Pokemon Red and Blue, you gotta remember, is pretty late in development. Like, most people forget how recent those games are. Probably Pika. The first game did. Portal Driver interactive mode engaged. Now walk back through the dungeon. And yeah, now we finally have the ability to use these portal things to go wherever. This still isn't fast travel, to be clear, but yeah, we finally have something. I'm not fighting two mages. And that's why. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is waypoint system. Good system. I'm with it. Dragon Quest XI Red and Dragon Quest XI Blue. It would be interesting to kind of track the popularity of RPGs, because Dragon Quest III was the big one for Japan. We know this. We have figures on this. That was the one that kind of really made them love JRPGs. But that's Japan only. Dragon Quest III didn't make nearly as much of a splash outside. In most of the rest of the world, it was Final Fantasy VII was the first one to really make a splash and hit popular media. And not to say that FF7 is a bad game, but ironically, the quality of FF7 has nothing to do with that. It was in the right place at the right time. Now, here's an interesting question. Did FF7 or Pokemon Gen 1 come out first?
Google! To the rescue!
Doo-doo-doo. Yes, this is as close to a freedom point as we have in the entire game. I'm pretty sure FF7 is first, but I do like to check my facts on that. How was it going through Pokemon Red, Pokemon... What?
I found your Uggs.
My Uggs?
The Uggs that you don't like.
I don't remember what you're referencing.
That she who shall not be named keeps wearing.
I still don't get what you're referencing, but I believe you.
Boots.
Oh, okay. Listen, one of these days she'll get some good fashion going. That's all I'm saying. Did this predate FF7? You know, that's actually a good question. Hang on, let's check some figures. Hang on. Because there's actually multiple dates that matter here.
I like those boots, but they don't match the gold on the rest of it.
So Breath of Fire 3 was September of 97. FF7 was January of 97. So FF7 does predate this, but not by that much. Just by about 9 months. 8 months, excuse me. Well, now hang on, because the relevance here. So, Pokemon Red and Green came out in Japan in February of 96. So Pokemon does actually predate FF7 by a year. But hang on a second. Because here's the actual relevant thing. Pokemon Red and Blue came out outside of Japan, which is the relevant thing, in 98. September of 98. And FF7 came out outside of Japan in September of 97. And that's why I mentioned, usually I'm looking at the original release date because we're talking about development times, but in this case, the whole point was which one made a bigger splash outside of Japan first. And it is, in fact, FF7. That is interesting because I didn't know it. I was pretty sure it lined up that way, but I didn't know that it actually was the other way around in Japan. That's interesting. Either way.
Wear flip-flops.
Yay!
I'm trying
The
to
over-
find shoes that match.
Good luck. The overall point I'm trying to make is that FF7 and Pokemon and Dragon Quest III are probably the big three we could point to for pushing JRPGs as a genre. My opinion.
I found a pair that I like, but the gold isn't quite right.
Oh, I hate that.
I know.
There we go. Pay attention more.
Suppose I could do purple. Doesn't look all great.
Well, that guy just pushed all our health to 1, because this whole dungeon sucks. I swear we'll get to actual story stuff in a minute here. I swear.
No, you won't.
I mean, at this point. He's up to almost 300 health.
Up to. Isn't the goal to, like, down to?
Oh, no. His attack power is still lagging substantially behind Triyu, and I don't think that's ever going to change, because Triyu has been on attack power this whole time. And now to do the desert without Savika. How long's your meeting, Savika? No reason. Just wondering.
Wrong gold.
I have trouble giving special mention to a game I've never even played on Falkenstein.
Are you laughing at me?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because it sounds like, ooh, those are hideous.
I mean, they are pretty hideous, but I haven't seen them, so...
Baby poop green.
That sounds hideous.
Yeah.
Yes, Pico has 100% reprisal rate. I mean, sure, Von Falkenstein, but tell me anything that Wild Arms did that actually was significant to JRPGs. On like a historical level. I'm not saying it's a bad game. That's irrelevant, as we've already talked about.
Wrong gold.
I mean, I think Dragon Quest III is a bad game, and that's one of the granddaddies of JRPGs. Wait, what? There we go.
Mm.
I don't remember, what was the golden number that Dragon Quest III got? By the way, another nice little bit of visual storytelling for the outer area. Almost all of the soil out here sucks. Like, the land is practically dead. Yeah, there's some trees around Yggdrasil. Otherwise, we've got cacti, and that's pretty much it. Well, there you go. Dragon Quest III is a net positive game. I cannot, in fairness, call it a bad game.
Mm. Ugh.
We are now only missing one gene. Now, Dragon Quest II is a perfect game with no problems to it whatsoever. That's what I was just double checking earlier about Falkenstein. I am honestly legitimately curious how the Dragon Quest games will review when we finally get to them. I'm in no rush to that, I'm just curious. Shouldn't I be able to, like, decide where I teleport to?
Nope.
Apparently not. Drag, please. Oh, actually, no. Containing art first. That's right. Recently? And that should be all the genes. Dragon Quest XI will score well. I guarantee it. It's got good gameplay in a Dragon Quest game. Enough said. The thing that's going to carry almost all of the other Dragon Quest games down is going to be the gameplay axis.
Well, that wasn't hard.
Like, I'm not sure how 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are going to review on the gameplay axis. Excuse me. Like, 7 is... Seven's a thing. Seven has a mechanic... Yeah, 7's the ridiculously long one. 7 has a mechanic not everyone's even fully aware of. Which boils down to... words. You can only gain job levels in an area up till a certain point. I'm explaining that badly. So let me put it this way. Let's just use numbers. So there's zone A, B, C, and D. Your job levels will not gain job experience in zone A past 5, in zone B past 10, in zone C past 15, etc. Now, that not only discourages grinding, but it also, nothing anywhere tells you that. You just sort of stop gaining job levels. And job levels are more important than levels in Dragon Quest VII. Now, as it happens, there is effectively a bug to work around that. But still, that is extraordinarily frustrating. What am I doing? What am I doing? Jeez. Nope, that's everything. Okay, so with that whole thing out of the way,
there's a whole bunch of cloaks I want to go get.
There's a whole bunch of cloaks. We're not doing any transmog farming until next patch, but we could do lots of transmog farming after the next patch.
Yeah, but like I need to know which ones, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
All of them. I know I have to prioritize.
Well, I mean, you also have to give us locations.
There are so many interesting cloaks that have come out since last time I played.
I need to find you the add-on I use that tells me how many items you have per zone, because that's a godsend.
Please do. And I will just go start farming stuff next patch. Will it will we have to go get all of the shit again?
I don't know, to be totally honest.
Well,
Bye, Savacom.
Bye, Savacom.
Okay, so... Can I get rid of Momo? I probably can't. Let's give you, I don't know, that.
I'm trying to find a cloak that goes with my outfit.
I mean, Dragon Quest VII is a game I enjoy a great deal. Let me be clear about that.
That one works.
It's just, you kind of need to know what you're getting into with that game, you know? That game can absolutely be a slog.
Okay.
And the quality of the regional quests, which is the bulk of the story, varies pretty wildly. Okay. Hey, you. Did you just leave
Oh, I
that building?
found the helm that goes with the shoulders that I have on. But I don't like it.
What's this? Everyone, we must celebrate! Wait, oh, right, this section. How did they get this much food out here? Whatever. Although I noticed they're serving scorpions. Please be at ease. I am Griol, the patriarch of this village. All of us here are the same as you. We are all brood, Master Trio. Do not be alarmed, Guardian. We gave up our powers and fled here during the Great War. So as not to be found by us Guardians? Exactly.
Yeah, something like that.
All in preparation for this moment. This moment? What do you mean? You will know soon enough. But for now, please rest and be at ease. O Dragon Prince and noble companions. Please, eat this. This meat will restore the strength sapped by the desert heat. Yeah, you notice the food they have. This is actually some interesting visual storytelling. There are scorpions, very small tomatoes, cacti, and meat. Yeah, that sounds like a barren wastelands diet to me. We have been awaiting your coming, Trio. Prince of Dragons. That has been foretold from many generations. After our defeat by our enemies, they tried to wipe us from the face of the earth. To survive, our people either had to give up their power like we have here, or bury themselves deep, deep underground. Our brethren who hid underground. Many of them entered a deep sleep after conceiving a child. They slept to await the time when one day, the brood might walk the earth again.
So they got pregnant and then went to sleep?
There's probably some translation issues.
We should hope so.
The prince is soon to awaken. Yeah, that's me. I'm right here, dude. And no, I have never eaten scorpion, and God willing, I never will. Trio, you have come here, to the forgotten city of the breed. Call it destiny, if you will. We can tell you where to find what it is you are seeking. Where to find your foe, the goddess Myria. First time they use her name, actually. Trio, you must awaken to your true power. And then you must face the goddess. Who's not actually a goddess. Trio, are you awake?
Are you sure?
Yeah. She's an alien, quite literally. You fell asleep after the banquet.
No, I didn't.
If you're looking for your companions, they're outside. Listen, sis, scorpions may sting, but they have a point.
Hey.
That wasn't mine, but I had to share it. Oh, look who's awake. The Brood are pretty amazing. Who would have thought they were still alive, living in a forsaken place like this? I wonder how Gar feels right about now. I mean, being in a city, surrounded by people who used to be his enemies. He's over there, looking depressed. Let's go try to cheer him up. In all honesty, I would be shocked if there aren't still some dragons down in the underground area. Like, you remember Boftu, that was not a small area. Infinity was huge. And even in the distance in the long shots, you could see vast swaths of, like, the underground world, right? Surely at least some dragons survived down there. And if we ever got a sequel to Breath of Fire 3, that would be a hell of a hook. Either starting down there or trying to find your way down there, one of the two. We no longer have any powers like yours, O Prince. We give up our power that you might one day find your way here and fulfill your destiny.
No.
Oh,
Don't wanna.
okay.
Okay. I am like my outfit.
Yay. Look, Trio, isn't he
Except
cute?
the shoes.
It's called a recta. It's probably
Still don't
delicious.
like the shoes.
Fix the shoes.
I can't find shoes that look good.
Use the force.
Tried.
Oh, okay.
Force is not helping.
What is the name of that add-on?
Those are the best ones.
Soak in the music for a second here.
Hey, can I copy to clipboard? Does that do anything for you?
Now that's interesting.
What?
Well, I have to log into WoW to do something with that, though. So, hang on.
Okay. Weapon.
No, absolutely, Crazy Norse. Myria if anything, Myria probably locked away the underground, which is another possible sequel
Rather
hook.
like the staff that I have on currently.
Imagine the idea that, with Myria gone at the end of 3, we can finally unlock getting back to the underground and everything that implies. Although, if I'm being honest, I would probably stick with the idea that Dethevan is gone after Mikba. Sorry for the noise. Like, I like the idea too much that Mikba was the final gasp of Dethevan. It fits too well, and it's just such a perfect encapsulation of 2 in 3, right? So I wouldn't mess with that. There it is. So, interesting. This is for your priestess?
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, this actually doesn't tell me. I can see the outfit, and I can see all the items, but it doesn't tell me where any of them are. See, that's what I was...
telling me is I need to go find a notebook.
I mean, it's right there in chat, and it can be reverse engineered if have to, but...
Yeah, but I could just write down where they're at.
Look up, I'm gonna just type this out. Monar's wardrobe helper. Drobe. That's the add-on I use to track stuff. I like that idea, Crazy Norse. As much as I don't want to go into Civil War stuff, like I don't want to invalidate the happy ending, the fact of the matter is it just makes a little bit too much sense for the underground dragons and what's left of the overground dragons to be in conflict with each other, right? Like, we have to have some evil force because we have to have a final boss fight, and you get it. Having it be the underground dragons being in contention with the overground dragons just makes too much sense to me.
Oh. Here's the thing. I don't remember how to get add-ons.
Okay. So Google that. It'll probably give you a CurseForge link. You download a zip file. You open it up. It gives you something that you dump into your interface folder.
Thank you. You were also going to give me the decursive.
Just look
So
up
don't let me
decursive.
forget decursive.
Same thing.
Anyway, what do you think of my outfit?
It looks pretty good. I like it. I'm solid. I don't like the weapon, but I like the rest of it.
Well, I haven't... No, the weapon doesn't match. I hadn't looked at weapons yet.
But there was a weapon attached. And I know that because I got it on a Demon Hunter.
Because that's the weapon that I have on.
Aha!
It links my entire outfit.
That makes sense. Yeah, I figured you'd hate that, Ross. Everybody would hate that. But, like, and I don't know. I don't agree. But what I do want to say is, let's say we don't have a civil war, and Dethevin's gone. That also means Miri is gone, and Deus is gone. So who's the final boss? Who's the villain of BoF 3.5?
Me!
That makes sense. Even if they have forgotten... No, Gar doesn't work for this game's reasons. I am still the sworn enemy of every person in this village. All the people here. They're suspicious of the fact that you, Triyu, have brought me here with you. I've come with you on this trip because I have lost my faith and have come to doubt my own actions of so long ago. But I know that is not good enough reason for all the men and women of this village to trust me.
That was an interesting pause.
I can't talk until the dialogue advances. The war has not ended in the hearts and minds of these people. Well, maybe so, Gar. What are you getting all gloomy about? Okay, so maybe the people here want Triyu to take his power and go teach your god a thing or two. Maybe it's not so realistic to think that we can drop in on God and ask about the truth. But still, you're the one who told us to tag along if we wanted answers to our questions. Yes, Noel. Exactly. I talked about that back in BoF 1 and 2, actually. Even in BoF 2, they refer to Dethevin as more like a scar. A wound left over after Miria's destruction. You just plain think too much, you know? Anyway, doesn't matter what the villagers here think. What's important is what Triyu thinks.
We're gonna kill them all anyways.
Well, yeah. We're the Brood. That's what we do.
Really?
No.
Okay.
We're the good guys. The Elder wishes to meet with you. Okay. He is the eldest of us all. Of all the Brood, only he remembers the Great War. Go to the well in the village center. The Elder awaits you underground. I get out of my party car. Oh my god. Actually, is this the section I think it is? Yeah, it is. Okay, so we're going to leave Gar for a moment. I have to admit, what I would do with a hypothetical Breath of Fire 3.5 is I'd either chop off basically chop off the story, make it as an ending of the story, or make it as the beginning of a new arc of the story. And those would be very different things, depending on what I go with it. What are you singing, sis?
Orgrimmar music.
Orgrimmar.
Because it randomly popped back up.
Big exposition scene. With my sister.
Wield a broom.
You know you can.
I know I can.
That's an option as of the last patch. Like, that's brand new. Okay. What would you do, Ross? Would you end Breath of Fire with Breath of Fire 4? Or would you, that is to say, the next Breath of Fire? Or would you try to establish a new arc? And there's the mural from the opening. Off one.
New window. Okay. What am I Googling?
New arc.
Should I have Curse installed?
CurseForge?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. I do, but I have like 50 add-ons I keep track of, so it's just convenience for me. You've come. Welcome, Trigu. I am the Elder Jono. Don't let my looks fool you.
Should I
I'm a
download
nice guy.
on Overwolf or standalone?
Overwolf is a software it wants you to install. Come here, my son. My son. Did you see the mural as you came in? That is the history of our people's struggle. Our people's history stretches back into the distant past, before even the Great War. It is a history of a struggle against a great recurring evil. With each age, a warrior appears among the brood. With his allies, he carries on the struggle.
Come hither, notebook. And by notebook, I mean tablet.
Against the evil that appears as a mortal, sometimes as a devil, the evil that is named Myria. Myria, the god of the Urkans, the god you are seeking. Of course, it seems the Urkans never refer to their god or their enemy, the Brood, by name. Speaking of the Urkans, I want to talk to your friend the Guardian. Bring him here. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, Mogu and Karn is correct. Yep, it's time to do Breath of Fire, the Brood War. Wah, wah.
Come here, piece of paper.
This paper says no. I refuse. Once it was revered as Ladon, the dragon god. Now it's known as the god of travelers. You want to save? Sure. Why not? The problem I keep running into, Ross, and I don't mean to sound negative about this, is Breath of Fire kind of has to have dragons involved, and that is a huge impediment to future storytelling. So I'm not sure what new story arc I would establish. Like 2 Crazy Horse. 3 if you count the thing that Valio and Sunder do, which I do not.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, it sounds like a weird thing. It's like, ugh, having to include the dragons. But no, the problem is, the way they've established the dragons is just, they're really, really ridiculously overpowered. And, Yeah. Hmm. Well, you can see why I immediately went into the Civil War idea. The idea of dragons, or some individual dragons, being one of the enemies just makes so much sense. You know? Doesn't have to be evil, just has to be an antagonist, another force for you to go up against. Hmm. Yeah, exactly, Ross. Well, we could invert what I was going to go for. Admittedly, this is kind of copying another story idea of mine, but something I always like the idea of is that magic is great and all, but at a certain point, technology catches up with it and equals it, right? So maybe the antagonistic force is just, you know, rather than one super powerful being, it's an organization or an entity or whatever that has just gotten to the point where they can fight back against the Brood. Tanks, guns, planes, whatever. You get the idea. Doesn't have to be sci-fi. We could probably go with a World War II aesthetic for something like that. I mean, tell me that doesn't sound cool. Dragons flying over a tank battalion. Or yeah, a carrier group. Right? I think that could actually work. And the final villain isn't like a dude, per se. The final villain is a guy in a giant, like a ship. Or a tank. That, you know, can hurt you. A dragon. I don't know, food for thought. Hey, thought I told you to bring the Guardian. Okay. Here, you asshole. Guardian, I have to hand it to you, Urkins, and to Miria. When you decided to get rid of the Brood, you didn't hold back at all, did you? But you must realize one truth. As you refuse to speak to your god's name, or the name of your enemy, no one will ever know what became of us, or why. Oh, Honorable Elder One, you hate us. Hate? There may be some among us who do, but I do not, Guardian. One cannot allow himself to be blinded by hatred or spill blood for a petty reason. What happened between the Urkin and the Brood was fate. Don't agree with that. Fate, Honorable Elder One? What do you mean, Honorable Elder One? Please tell me. Stop calling me Elder One. You're every bit as old as I am. Had enough of talking to you. From now on, the only thing I want to see is a pretty girl. Understand? I'm only going to talk to the women. Well. Oh, absolutely, Crazy Norse. And yeah, if we keep the idea that the Brood in, you know, off 7, let's just call it that at this point. Ah! Oh, okay. Are the ones who are underground.
Game because I'm installing things.
Yeah, that makes sense. That would be nice if I could swap party members on the fly.
Something is beeping me.
Beep. It's me. Beep.
Yeah, beep beep.
I wonder what it is. I do like the idea of the Brood underground in BoF 7 are like the isolated, the magical setting. You know, they probably literally rely on magic for things like food and water. Because, I mean, think about where they live. And then, of course, you go above ground and it's like, bzzz. Really, now that I've said it out loud, now that I've been picturing it in my head, I'm digging the idea of a 1940s aesthetic, a World War II aesthetic to the world above. Not fully modern, but like leaning that way, right? And not full sci-fi like they usually do, but definitely technologically bad. And I don't know, like now you got me thinking about it. Because I love the idea. I love the idea of you're down below, and like one of the first things that happens is you have a quest, and you know there's a little bit of an establishing section, there's a bit of a town section, and then you go into the first dungeon, which is to check on the tombstone. They don't even say it's like the tomb or whatever, and you go and you check on it, and it's the tomb of Dethaven. He's dead. He's still dead, and you report as such. Maybe have a boss fight to establish some characterization stuff and some gameplay stuff. But when you get back to the town, they're like, he's not budging. Dethaven isn't budging. I think we finally have to accept that Dethaven is permanently gone, and he's not coming back, and we can finally return to the surface. And that turns into an argument. That turns into a debate. Should we return to the surface? Some people don't even want to go back to the surface. How can they even deal with things like the sun anymore? They've adapted over years and years and years for living down there. But finally, the debate is either gone in a certain way, or you decide to go that way just for your own reasons. But you decide, you, a dragon, decide to go to the surface. You go to the surface. World War II era. And it's like, holy crap. It's, you know, biplane goes by. No. I said pretty girls. I want the young, plump ones. Well, excuse me. What an old crank. What do you mean I'm not good enough? Oh, actually, I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Hang on. I know he's going to tell me to bring Nina. I brought Momo on purpose, but I forgot to bring Ray. Because Ray has a reaction to this too, if I'm not mistaken. There. Listen, I'm just saying I'll take Momo over, like, anybody else in this setting.
Do I need to install anything else?
Shouldn't, unless there's other stuff you want.
I don't know. I used to have like 50 add-ons.
Me too. Oh wait, I still do.
Have like 50 add-ons.
Do you want to change how your bars are positioned and look?
Nah.
Do you want to change how your portraits are and look?
Nah.
Do you want to change your HUD or your cast bar?
Oh.
Sounds like a no. I think you're lying to me, Silent Knight, because I don't appear to have the ability to do that. So I want pretty girls, the young plump ones. Look at Ray. Excuse me. What an old crank. What do you mean I'm not good enough? Okay, there. Now I shut it off properly. Yeah, we can't do it here. I figured. But I think you're right. I think we could do it in the overworld now. Save ourselves a few seconds at least. Also, if we were keeping track, this is another Nina counter. Nina mandatory counter. We've had quite a few of those. Like a weirdly large amount of them. Nina's super important. You don't even understand. She's just... She's there, I guess? I don't know. Hang on a sec. Yeah, that's what I thought. We're gonna have to change party members again after this. The Princess and the Gargoyle sounds like the name of a story. Like a book or something. Also, I'm not sure I would call Nina plump. I would definitely not call her that to her face. No, I saw Shadow Machine. Thank you for posting it. I actually saw it a few days ago. But that's better. Now, listen up, little lady. I'm going to tell you about the fate of the brood and the goddess Mary. I'm listening, Grandpa. That's more like it. Good girl. Now listen close. The brood and Myria have always fought, down through the ages and all across the world. You already said this. Is it because she was trying to destroy the world, and the brood were trying to protect it? It's not exactly that simple, child. Think about it. That would mean the world wouldn't be here after we lost the Great War, now would it? Besides, the real danger to the world might be us brood. Sure. Our power is such that we could destroy the world, and the goddess Myria feared that strength. Decided to destroy us. Which honestly is really stupid if you think about it. Because if she was actually afraid the brood were going to destroy the world, the worst thing you do is provoke that power into being in a position where they would want to destroy the world because you're killing them all. But whatever. You're saying Trio is an evil dragon? Oh, no, child. Don't get ahead of yourself. We lost the war because we didn't use our power. If we had fought back with all our power, we might have indeed destroyed the world. I still don't believe that. Do you mean the brood were concerned with the fate of the world? They're not evil? Well, that's not exactly right either. I want to tell you something important. I want you to come up next to me. Nina. Like this? That's it. Now, kneel down. Give me a kiss. What? Trio, what should I do? Why do you ask me? Well, I don't know.
Because I asked you.
Oh, well, I got my kiss, so now I have no regrets. It's time for me to do what I must. Trio, come here. Yeah, I am not fighting this boss with Nina in the party. So let's go change into my actual final party, because by memory, this is one of, if not the hardest bosses in the entire game. Not counting the optional stuff. Thank God they put all these slow walking and climbing animations just to get in and out of here. Also, thank God the well's empty. While we're on the subject. Where are they getting their water from?
Left.
That's true, Gravitor. Or Gavitor, excuse me. So, yeah, ahem. Get out of my party, and we're
Forgot to help me find... are your add-ons out of date?
Mine?
Yeah.
Doubtful. Why?
Because it just popped up and told me that my add-ons are out of date.
Yeah. Hit load anyway.
That's what I just asked you.
That's not what I heard, but okay. I think she's making stuff up, guys.
I am not. You never did help me find my heater.
Oh, sorry. I got back so late. I didn't have time for it. I'm sorry.
No, we just both forgot. I didn't go look for my heater either.
Aha!
Poor Vol'jin.
Grab a save here, because this might suck. We'll see. We've been mastering up and leveling up, and this is our go-to team. Well, again, we'll see. Oh yeah, we also have to do this fight without dragon form.
Okay, how do I use this new thing that you have made me get?
The add-on, the Monars. Click it on the minimap. And hit refresh list. Once it shows up, it'll take a minute or two to load everything. The rest should be intuitive.
It's thinking.
Trio, you may have guessed this, but I must now face my end. And you, your fate. Are you ready for what comes next?
Okay. I apparently have things I need to get from the molten core.
I mean, you don't have to. We waited to bequeath
Zero.
the true power of the brood to the one we knew would one day come. That's why we gave up our power and came to this lonely barren place. To hide that power from prying eyes of Myria. To fool Myria into thinking she had succeeded in eradicating the brood. I don't know if our ruse worked. We have guarded the essence of the brood all these years, here in me. I'm ready now to give you that power, but I can't just give it to you because that would be stupid, so instead I'm going to try to kill you. You must take the power from me, but... In order to guard against discovery by the goddess, we placed special magic wards around this room. In other words, here you will be unable to use your brood powers. I will use the true power of the brood, but you must depend only on yourself to defeat me.
Bum, bum, bum.
And he looks like that. And yeah, big boss music. So this fight... Ugh, okay. So let's come out swinging. Actually, hang on 1 second. I'm seeing if we can pilfer anything from him. Nothing worthwhile. Case. Let's do it.
Max is not online.
Nope. Ow. That is astonishing that not only that Pico lived through that, but that hit that hard. Only Pico could have lived through that, by the way. Okay, let's not screw around, shall we? Let's recover. I forget who I gave the Thunder Ring. Okay, so the Thunder Ring's on Trio. Good. That means Pico probably has the Fire Ring. I have not, Mr. Red, no. I have the file, I have the timestamps, but I have not had any time whatsoever to look at it.
Oh, I bet I know what the meeting is.
I spent my entire lunch break
headphones are
working.
trying to die.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Actually, you know what? Oh, he's got a bad back. Yeah, it's okay. He hits like a truck for 2 rounds, and then you have a round to recover. By memory, this is another one of those good fights, and this one gives you a lot more warning that it's coming. So, not the Mikpa situation. Let's continue to stack that for the moment. Ow. Jesus.
I'm in a dungeon.
God, this is gonna take a while too. He's got 5,000 health. That's yeah, that's gonna be a minute. Alright, okay. Let's spend around catching up, because he should be on a bad back. We can only afford so many of those AoE heals. We do not have a lot of AP at this point.
I'm dead.
Live.
I'm not dead. There we go.
And Ryu's dead.
Yay. Ugh. Besides a tank that doesn't want to hold still.
Yeah, no, the
No, I can't
barrier
heal
helped a
you.
lot.
Around a corner.
Wow.
Well, line of sight.
Yeah. Hey, Nero says. Okay, I should start talking this out. I'm sorry. I keep having that habit of not talking my strategy. So right now I'm just in recovery mode. He's probably going to do another round of AoEs in a second. I'm going to risk trying to get another barrier up on Ryu, even though that's probably the wrong call. I'm not sure if I'm going to risk a barrier on Pico, but if I do, Pico is probably good for the rest of the fight. I'm going to go ahead and have Pico use a vitamin on Ryu, anticipating some damage is going to come in. Whoa! Okay, influence apparently went away when I died. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. So that's what we in the business refer to as extremely bad. Okay.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Yeah, we might be dead. Wow. Alright,
Boop, and now I have aggro.
so we're gonna try to get Ryu back up.
Can't see tank.
The good news is that Ray only really has 2 targets he can hit right now. Now, I'm gonna hope... So Ray's gonna go first. If Ray doesn't target Ryu, We're just gonna gamble. We're gonna straight up gamble. We're gonna try to get influence back up. And then we're gonna go ahead and use, I think I should have...
I just tried to bubble and run faster.
Congrats. I don't
I'm
think
on
it worked,
Fury.
though. I mean, log. Whatever. Just use some beef jerky. Let's go. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have a bad back, but Ray is going to. Okay, so we got some good luck there. Gonna recast influence. Thank you, Ray, for not beating the crap out of me. Okay, so as I was about to say, I'm gonna go ahead and risk another round of barriering, which is what I was about to do, on myself. I'm also going to have Pico once again heal Ryu, because I think he's going to need it. Yeah, please live through this. Please live through this.
Nope.
Nope, he didn't live.
Wait.
Okay, that's great. Oh, man. All right. We're still here, so we're just going to try to get him up again and then repeat ourselves. This is just our life. Until we can successfully get Ryu up for a round. Hypothetically, his next attack should be free. So this might work out if Ray doesn't attack him. Because, yeah, now we have to waste a round doing influence again, which we are going to do immediately. I don't have any multivitamins, unfortunately. Just regular vitamins.
Max is trying to get himself killed.
That is pretty normal. Okay, so Ray didn't attack us. He's got a bad back. We're going to recast influence. He's going to heal up Ryu. I really need... We're kind of in the exact same spot we were just a minute ago, so I really need this barrier to go off. I'm going to go ahead and use the vitamins. And we'll see what happens. So Ray goes first, of course. He does Sirocco. That's going to kill Ryu, and then we're going to be back where we already were. Yeah, Ray just cannot live through that. Or Ryu cannot live through that. Wow. Okay. New plan. And I mean this. We're going to do a new plan here. I'm going to give up on Ryu. He's dead. He's dead to us. We're just going to chill here for a minute. I wish I knew how much HP the boss had. That actually killed Pico. Wow. So we're just gonna fast forward now and watch what happens. And Ray did it. I'll take it. Enjoy the experience, Ray. Whatever. Asshole. Very good, Triyu. No, Ray killed you. You have proven yourself to me. Very well, Triyu. I will bequeath to you the true power of the Brood. Come here. Yeah, very good, Ray. I give unto you the very essence of the Brood, the power that can shake the very foundations of the world. The power of Anthony, or Agni. And yeah, let's give the Infinity Gene to Ray. I think he earned it. Listen to me, Triyu. This is the power which Miria rightly fears. I mean, Dragon Tiger sounds kind of cool, I'm just saying. It is in your hands now. Oops, wrong one. Yours and your friends. Yeah, Always the warrior
I
Brook
just tried to bubble again.
has fought with his allies, his friends. Together they have defeated the goddess. It's funny because we actually have a dragon monk form in this one, Eternus. It's a Force Gene. But you needn't follow that path, if you so choose. The power is yours, Trio. The power is yours!
I think I found decursive.
Congrats.
I need to figure out how to move it.
Well, I don't remember.
It is underneath my...
There should be like a thing above
quest thing.
the actual clickers, and you can click and drag that. We should have all the genes, yes, which means we can go get Ladon now, Ladon.
Keeping the boss from dying.
And I believe this is going to be our last master change-up. Just double checking my notes here. Yeah, this is going to be our last change-up, although... So, AP3, Power, Agility, Int. Or...
Pax is excited because he gets to play his Demon Hunter.
It is fun playing a Demon Hunter. Or Power, Defense, Agility, Int. No AP. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Nope. Yeah, the Ladon fight was interesting, Savacom. Or not the Ladon fight, sorry, whoever we just killed fight. The Elder Champions. It looks like you have discovered the power of infinity.
Where the hell is the tank?
Very well, then.
There he is.
I will tell you where you can find Miria.
Oh shoot, what do I do on the
I don't know the fight you're fighting.
tanky fight? With the cannons and stuff?
What are you in? Are you in Oldor?
Ow!
Alright, so.
I happened to stand in the fire. It was a bad idea.
She's playing World of Warcraft. Damn it, I keep screwing up that joke. Every time I keep screwing up that joke. Ugh. Anyways, we've all waited for this day, for the day our Savior would come and avenge us. Good luck, Tria. We have placed our trust in you. Time to betray them all.
Okay. Well, now I can't see decursive.
Congrats.
Fine. Well, no, it's still underneath my objectives. It just despawned because I'm not... Fine.
There's not really a how far is she when it comes to what she's doing in WoW. Is there an inn here? Because I could really use one. The Desert of Death is actually what they call it. Wow. I forgot about that.
Why are we not insta-queuing?
I don't know. Aha! Thank you. Okay. Yeah, let's go get Ladon. Set Ray to Ladon. And then walk away from the Master System for the rest of the game.
Yay. We should probably think about ordering sushi.
Well, hang on, let me read this thing. Who awakens me from my rest? You your trio. So the time has finally come. I am the ancient dragon god, Ladon. I know what it is you must do. Do you seek my assistance? Very well, then. I see you have awoken the power that lies within you. You are ready to receive what I can give you, and we'll put Ray under it. Here you go. Nope, I'm good. Peace. I want the AP growth on Ryu, so he's not moving. And Pico is never leaving fall. Like the whole game. He's just fall. Ladon is
an idiot.
An idiot. Ladon is +2 power, +2 defense, +1 agility, +2 int, -6 HP, -6 AP. He teaches Mind's Eye, which is whatever, Holy Strike, which is decent, Ward of Light, which is okay, and Aura, which is a very strong attack. But no, we're putting him on Ray because we want +2 power, +2 defense, +1 agility. Yeah, Aura does a lot of damage, but that's admittedly not why I'm doing that. And now we're Paper Airplane! Okay, so, let's do it. Let's do Savacom's favorite part of the game. Also, if you want to order sushi, my phone is right here.
I'm in a dungeon with a noob tank.
It's all good. I'm just letting you know that that's the sequence of events that's probably going to have to happen.
Okay.
Who do we like for sushi?
Oh.
Volcano, I think? Or Wasabi,
That's...
or Atami?
We normally do Volcano or the A1.
Okay. Well, either way, you know how that works. I'll go as far as the desert. Let's go. Really? If that's the case, then take this Rakta with you. Let's do it. Oh, right. But wasabi's delicious, Trihexia. I don't see any problems here. We have a dungeon before we get to... I just want to get onto the desert! Ah! No. God damn it, game! You know, you remember me mentioning earlier today that I have so few memories of the adult Ryu? I think this is why. Because none of this is memorable. There's so many huge swaths of gameplay here that are just spinning your wheels. We also need to bring Momo. Again.
Nope, you're going the right way. Go on back. Come
yes,
on.
I know, Crazy Nurse. I am quite aware. I've never had real wasabi, and honestly, I probably never will. I don't even know where it is, DJ Cinemo.
Hey, Tanklet, dude. Pax, save me!
She's dead.
I am not. Pax, save me!
Oh no, I love horseradish. Like, just absolutely adore it.
Okay, Pax saved me. our tank was trying to fight in the area where we were being constantly killed by stuff, and so I got aggro.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Honestly, if this dungeon didn't exist, we probably would have it, but this is probably like another hour of slogging through this stupid crap for another stupid dungeon for no goddamn reason. So that's cool. And yes, I am irritable, and I'm not apologetic about it. This is stupid. Let me get to the freaking desert. This is extremely Japanese. You know what? Actually, you know what this reminds me of? FF14.
It's a warrior tank, and he's not using charge.
Oh, yeah. This reminds me of FF14.
He's literally walking up to enemies and then smacking them.
I love you, sis.
That's not how you do. I've watched you do it enough. That's not how you do it. And I have aggro.
Well, no, like, okay. In
Why do I
FF14,
have aggro?
there's a
I have
point in the
aggro
game at which you
okay,
are pushing
walked
through
up to it.
to get to the Crystal Tower. And he says, yeah, sure, go do the Crystal Tower stuff. And as you're on your way to go do the Crystal Tower stuff, you have to go do literally 2 hours worth of needless and pointless side quests to build a key to enter the Crystal Tower. And it's arduous, and it's sloggy, and it's slow, and it used to be worse than it is now. But it's still bad. And it's like, the whole time I'm just sitting, let me just get to the dungeon. And yeah, FF7R1 did this exact same problem. Oh my god! The pillar's about to crumble at any minute! And thousands of lives are at risk. Quick, let's do a dungeon! And then another dungeon, and then another dungeon. And then we might actually do another dungeon. And then another dungeon. And then another... Okay, I'm exaggerating, but I think there are only like 4 dungeons there. But still, 4 full-fledged dungeons. It's interrupting the narrative at that point.
Nah.
Like, it's just aggravating. Just want to get to the desert and get on with it. Oh yeah, Ryu's Dream exists, which I also tend to forget even exists in this game. Like I'm sorry, I don't want to sound negative, but literally everything from now until the final boss fights is filler. And by the final boss fights, I mean the final dungeon. The actual final dungeon. Oh god, the Evil East quests can go directly to hell. When I drag Evo and possibly my sister through those, we are skipping those.
Huh?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
What game?
FF14.
Nah. He's letting things hit him in the back.
Well, yeah. He wants to make sure you have something to do.
letting things hit him in the back.
Yeah, I don't see any issues here. I also keep accidentally going the wrong way and getting loot, which I don't want. I don't want loot! I just want to go to the desert! Why can't I go to the desert? You're right, I'm not going to finish this game today.
I am all for letting noobs get experience. But he's slow. Go smack the boss. There you go. Walk up to the boss and smack it.
Hey, if I've learned anything in my years of streaming, it's that if I find some random loot and then don't pick it up out of spite, I will regret that later. I don't remember which way I came from. This looks right. Momo's really wigging out up there. God damn it. Nope, this was wrong. I hate everything. I hate everything in the world.
Okay.
I think I've gotten every piece of optional loot in this dungeon I don't even want to do. And I've done it completely on accident. It's just... The game is cursing me. The game is straight up cursing me with loot. That's where it is. That's my life now. Go loot, lore. Go loot. And I'm like, no. The game's like, loot. There's loot, lore. There's loot. There's loot. There's loot. Are we in the right formation? We are. Cool.
So how does it do rolls now?
Personal loot. So there's no rolls. So you just... There's an invisible dice roll, which, if you succeed, congrats, you get loot.
Ah.
And if you don't, you get gold. Okay. This looks like a puzzle. I love puzzles. Let's do it. You know the best part is this dungeon has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Like, this is probably the most pure example of a filler dungeon in this entire game. There is no relevance to this place. We're not even fighting, like, enemies that are significant for, like, the lore of the area. It's just, yep.
And the tank is dying. I can't! I'm trying to keep the tank alive while he runs through stuff he shouldn't run through. Also, yes, I know it's 5. I'm gonna go get the girls. I just have to get through the dungeon first.
Yeah, exactly. We're just fighting eggs. Like, this is... Okay. I know. I keep comparing this game to the greats. I apologize. Chrono Trigger. The factory, the optional factory in 2300 AD. That's how you use enemy design as a part of storytelling. Right? I'm not even talking about some of the awful stuff that happens in there. I mean, the fact that they are continuing to improve and develop new and better versions of the robot enemies you've been fighting the entire game, ever since you first entered 2300 AD. And they even kind of like show some of them being produced on the factory floor, and it's like, yes, this is the latest models, the ones that are finally going to go and wipe out all of the human life. Remember, the humans have barely been holding back against the earlier, lesser, worse versions of it. And that's awesome. It's an awesome dungeon with visual storytelling, even in just something like enemy design. This is a waste of everything. Okay, so I think I actually physically cannot redo this puzzle right now because there's something missing. So let's get into a random encounter with a goblin for no reason. That's nothing to do with anything. Momo's dead. Perfect. Okay, cool. Gavator says I can be quick? Okay, well then my walkthrough's wrong, which wouldn't be the first time, so let's...
Whoa, why am I lightninged? I have passed it off to the tank. The tank can be lightninged.
Okay, so that's not how I read that at all. I assumed that when I hit the other switch, it actually raised the first switch. Apparently I would just have like perfect timing on that accidentally. Moving on. So that's my bad. I am stupid, worthless, pathetic, and terrible. So, what do we got here? Loot! No! Why? Why? God, why? Why hast thou forsaken me? You know, if I could make one complaint... Yes, Walker. In fact, I just returned it today. If I could make one complaint about the Master System...
The one that required batteries?
Yeah, that's the one. There really should be a healer master, I think. Maybe only one. But there really should be at least one master that raises int AP and gives you some freaking healing spells.
Staying with Pax. The tank ran off.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, Gavator. Like, there's no healing master. If I wanted to turn anybody into a healer, it sucks to be me, because I can't. Like, I would love to turn Momo into full support mob, but I can't, because it's not possible. Like, there's so many spells you can learn, and so many skills you can learn, and there's, like, what, one heal? In fact, I don't even know what heal you're talking about, so you're gonna have to actually tell me what heal you're talking about, because I am too ignorant to even know what you're referencing. Yeah, the really sad thing is, she already has Homing Bomb on.
Do-do-do.
Oh god, this thing. Okay, hang on. Yeah, I don't think I've gotten a single piece of loot in here that's actually worth a damn.
Pax confused me because he shrunk.
What?
He's no longer in demon form.
Oh, yeah, that tracks.
I was like, well, that's Pax. Why is he so little?
Damn it, almost had that. Who teaches Cure, Gavator? Not being facetious, real question. From Drac?
in the desert.
Desert. Who or what is Drac, and what does the desert have to do with anything?
Well, that's where you learn Cure. Heals 100% and a status.
So, okay, that's cool. That's valid. That's not part of the Master System, which is what I was just talking about. Which is my overall point. I would love it if there was a master of healing. There we go. That should do it. Even if it was just one master, that'd be nice, you know? Maybe like right at the beginning with Migas and Bunyan. Because, you know, tank healer. Deeps. Benediction can also fail, although you are correct. I still don't count that, though, because that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, actually, I'm bothered to unlock Honduras, and I'm never going to use him. Because he sucks. I've heard a lot of people go out of their way to learn all the skills of the Masters, and I don't really know why. Does anybody else do that? And if so, why? I mean, in fairness, there's a point coming up where, like, you have access to everything, and that's the, you know, go out of your way to actually grind up everything if you want to moment. And I could see it there, because by that point you have access to all the masters and all the teleports and blah, 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 blah. Why are you a Murloc, sis?
I'm apparently a Murloc.
But why?
If that little fucker does not get over here.
In an emergency, brake panel and turn handle to open emergency door. I could see that, Ross. Although, the only thing I don't like about that is that means you don't get Deus until way or in, like, right, you don't get your white mage until almost towards the end.
Where the fuck is he?
There we go. There is a lower encounters thing, which I didn't bother fishing for. And honestly, that was probably the right call. Just because I need the encounters. Are you done with the dungeon yet, sis?
No.
Why is it
I have a
taking so
really
long?
bad because I have a really bad tank.
Like, yeah, dungeons should be really short affairs in WoW. You shouldn't be in there
Now,
still.
I am done with the dungeon.
Okay, congrats. Anyone who can come this far. Now comes the hard part. The Desert of Death. Okay. So. So yeah, who's ready for how many... Let's play a game. How many negatives do you think this will be? I guarantee you it is a bare minimum of 1. Absolute bare minimum. Because of the glitch. Because of the fact that it gives you the wrong information. That by itself, regardless of all other things, is negative worthy. Everything else, we'll see. So this is the desertification that has been claiming the world, or at least this continent. I get the feeling that God wants to be left alone. I don't know anything about that. But I do know the goddess lives beyond the desert. You must cross the desert. I'll tell you how to survive long enough to get there. Ask me anything. Okay. Can I skip this? Actually, I can. I do have desert cheats. So, water. As you walk in the desert, your body will slowly lose water. And your throat will become dry every so often. If you don't drink any water and keep walking, longer than 30 minutes when this happens, you run the risk of permanently damaging your body. Just so you know, 30 minutes is about 20 steps or so. You should spend about 12 hours or so camping. So if you camp at daybreak, it'll be night when you start walking again. If you camp at dusk, when you break, it'll be morning. Anything else you want to know about? Go ahead, take this Rakta with you. If you get lost in the desert, use the Rakta. It'll bring you back here without fail. The people of Dragnir believe that you're going to strike down the goddess Myria. Put an end to her madness. Me? I don't care what happens. I have no hatred for anybody. Do whatever you think is best. This is very important. Listen carefully. Naturally, as you move through the desert, time passes. One day is 24 hours, a 12-hour day, and a 12-hour night. You can keep track of time by counting your steps. You'll walk about 40 steps in an hour. Since you only waste energy moving during the day, you should move at night when it's cooler. About directions. You can find your way in the desert by looking at the stars. This is the North Star. It always appears in the north and never moves. If you follow it, you're heading due north. This one's the false North Star. It sometimes appears at different heights depending on the day. It can fool you. Be careful not to mix it up with the real North Star. And this one is the Evening Star. It always appears in the west, but not always at the same height and in the same place. If you're in the center of the desert, it'll be due west. If you lose track of where you are, you're done for. Make sure you keep your eyes on the stars. One thing you need to be careful about, after breaking camp or battle, make sure you check what direction you're facing. If you forget, you could end up in a lot of trouble.
Okay. Father-in-law says leave
it for a while. He told me to.
Okay.
But thank you. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it for a couple days. I don't even know what he put
he
in
said
there.
overnight.
Yeah, but I like to be cautious. Okay, can I get my real party? Stop putting Nina in my party. Oh my god, game. Stop putting Nina in my party. So yeah, this is long and arduous and easy to screw up. It also, as I mentioned, literally gives you false directions. That's just a bug, though. That's just, you know. I mean, if I want to immediately kill myself, Trihexia, sure. Gotta get our daily suicide requirement in there. She finished the dungeon. She has to procure things. Including
Children.
Two adorable children.
I have to procure children.
And she's also ordering dinner. Enjoy the music. What kind of pizza, Juju's? You know what you have to do, Sabakan. I've actually thought over the years how to fix the Desert of Death. Maybe making it so that you have more than 3 stars to navigate by might be, you know, an interesting idea. A way to do that. FF7 actually tried a fairly similar approach to this, if you remember. FF7 had the snow section in the crater. But there what happened is the screen would periodically do this. In order to throw you off. I honestly like that. In fact, I imagine that'll get a plus when we get there. And yeah, you had a way to track, exactly. You could drop the little markers as you go. But that's, once again, how details can matter when it comes to gameplay implementation. And yeah, there's apparently so this is the thing that can randomly be the life armor. Bonus question: is that the only life armor? Okay, so hang on. Let's. Okay, that's north. Cool. Do you know what the trigger is, Sabakan? How do I water? How do I drink water? I use ability. Cast water. I was just looking at my items. God, this thing is extremely badly sorted. We good?
I have no idea. I'm going to ask. That's wrong.
Don't forget the kiddo.
Yep.
She said she has a favorite thing she wants, and she couldn't remember what it was. So please make sure she gets it, please.
Okay. So, yeah, I think I'm going to drink the napalm, because that might be a better option at this point. Well, time to die. That was the first thing I checked, was vitals, and there's nothing here. Look. Apparently, I didn't get the water. I don't even... How did I not get the water? Okay, so, for real. How did I not get the water? Get water. Cool. Let's go. Jesus Christ, game. I just... I am shocked that it actually lets me go out without getting any water whatsoever. I really am. I'm also shocked that it lets you use the water when you're not thirsty, so that's cool too. We're on the subject. I hate the desert so goddamn much. Yeah, there. So anyways, yeah, I'm sorry. I think I've wasted enough time already here. If it's not random, then I don't care about the loot in these places. The evening star is west. Oh god, that would be much worse, Ross. Yeah, ironically, as much as I hate the desert, and let's be clear, I do. This could be much worse. Yeah, you could have to count your steps. It could be longer. The music could be worse. The encounter rate could be higher. It could randomly change your direction at will, basically. There could be moments where you can't see the stars at all. It's so hot. I'm panting like a dog. Get it? I'm supposed to head north, right? As long as we can see the stars, we should be alright. Congrats, Triaxia. It's a long trip ahead. Better conserve water as much as possible. Yeah, the encounter rate's really low for a Breath of Fire game. It's kind of shocking. What I would probably do is I would abstract this a bit more, I think. Imagine if you will that you're on a grid, essentially. And that's what I thought. And as you're on this grid, you know, you move a day forward, and there's events that happens, and there's triggers, and there's these kind of enemies, and blah 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 blah. And then, okay, that's one day of travel, and then you do another day of travel, and then you do another day of travel, and so forth and so on. Instead of holding forward for however long this actually takes. I wonder what speedrunners do at this point in the game. So at the moment, I'm thinking 3 negatives. That's where we're at the moment. Kinda, yeah, von Falkenstein. Like, I could buy that. But honestly, ignoring the literal bug, the biggest flaw I find in this, by far, is the thing Savicom likes about it. And it's this. What I would probably do... I mean, it's not just the slowness, it is the length of it. There's nothing really to do in the desert other than to walk forward until an encounter happens or until you're changing direction. What I think I would change, like if we're going for minimum changes, because I could do a lot to fix this section, but I think if I was going for a minimum number of changes, something relatively easy to do, what I would go ahead and do is I would leave the desert completely as is and make it optional. I know, that's been my answer for a lot of these things, but imagine if the desert was the place you go to get all of the random items that are in the desert, right? Because all of the loot spots are manually placed, right? You could put bosses out here, you could put NPC encounters out here, you could put background lore, like maybe you find some wreckage that just gives you a little bit of an insight into the world before, right? Make all kinds of cool optional stuff to do in the desert, and then if you want to actually progress the game, you just there's like a fade to black and you're there. That is what I would do. Yeah, exactly. Make this the high-end training dungeon where you can get new masters and some new loot. The life armor, which is already here. It is shocking how much of this game is immediately improved if it's optional. Like, I'm kind of weirded out by it, if I'm being completely honest with you. I suppose you could say that about a lot of games, though. Good experience out here, too. To tie back into the theme. Yeah, the biggest mistake of the dungeon, because let's be honest, this is a dungeon, is that it's boring. It is a repeated desert pattern and one skybox that does not move, and this is what you're staring at, the whole thing. Thanks, kiddo.
So you don't see anything else except for that?
Yeah, this is a whole dungeon right here. Did you get whatever you
Can you
wanted,
go
kiddo?
to the left or right? And yes.
Yes, you can, although you get lost if you do that.
Don't do that. Man, that's gotta be hard. Right dungeon?
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, you got what you wanted?
It's gotta be so hard to do that for a dungeon. There's bones. And grass.
So it's almost daytime. This should be about when we want to start heading, I believe, east.
So do you get unlost when it's daytime?
Well, now you can't see where you're going. So, you should probably camp. I mean, that's another thing. As I meant, this is why that bug is a guaranteed negative, is because if you don't know better, it's like, oh shoot, I should use the directions, and the directions are actually wrong.
What?
Yeah.
When are they wrong? Are they wrong all the time? Or?
Yeah, it's just, it is a screw up. It's like, oh shoot, where do I go? Here's how we get to the oasis. First, follow the North Star to the north. Then, when you can see the evening star, directly to the west, head west. This is wrong. Keep going west until you can no longer see the evening star. Then head north again. After walking north for 3 nights or so, you should be able to see the oasis. You actually want to, so that'll be like this, right? But you actually want to go over here, so you're on a completely other part of the desert if you do that. Negative. And now I attack your head. I should get some food. No! You have some upstairs. You have those, and those. Have some Sour Patch Kids.
No, I don't like. the
Eat
rest of the
Sour Patch.
flavors.
You don't like the Sour Patches?
I don't like the rest of the flavors of that.
Oh, okay. That's valid. And yeah, I'm getting some frickin' sushi. Because today... today I'm doing the Desert of Death. Oh. I mean, that is still a fault of the game, Von Falkenstein. Because the localizers are part of the game. But like I said, that's why that's a guaranteed negative, regardless of everything else. Yes, we will go northeast, north. Did we rest already? Oh god, I don't remember. Nope, it's still daytime. Okay, let's rest. Damn right. Keep it in Japanese, so I never play the game. Yeah, exactly, Savacom. I'm glad Savacom brings up that concept, because I know I'm not the only person who, when something doesn't work, my first thought is that it's a me problem and not a game problem. I can actually point to a specific example of that. How many of you ever used to read Nintendo Power? Several Nintendo Power tricks and tips and other things are wrong. Now, we know this now, but as a kid, back in the day, teenager, really, I automatically assumed that the problem was me, that I just wasn't inputting it correctly, or I wasn't going to the right spot, or whatever, right? The automatic presumption was that it was a me problem. And yeah, I've seen this in Prima Guides as well. It's one of the reasons I stopped using Prima Guides for a while there. And so, that's a little frustrating. It is a little irritating to effectively do nothing wrong, and then because the instructions you were given are wrong, automatically assume it's a you problem. Just someone screwed up somewhere on Falkenstein. There was another one. Brady Games. That was the other one. Brady Games and Prima Guides. I had a lot of problems with both of those. Yeah, why didn't they just patch this PS1 game? It's one of the reasons when they first started patching games, and I mean first started patching games to fix things, I was in favor of the idea. Because, you know, it's understandable, right? Like, there's so many different ways in which... I just... No, of course I can't. There's so many little bugs like that that can be caught later. Also true, Jalota. I actually specifically remember a versus strategy guide for FF7, which referenced an enemy that was only in the version of the game they were playing, which obviously is not in the final version of the game. Yeah, I was just thinking that of Volkswagen, because anytime I want to check my distance, I have to turn around. Are they really Pitkiss? Wow. Yeah, no kidding, Crazy Norse. On the one hand, you can fix mess-ups and screw-ups. On the other hand, years and years of bad game design culture. Man. There we go. I will give this exactly one thing. It does get across how colossally huge this desert is. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing, but it does nevertheless get across the idea. Desert be big, yo. The future of gaming development is VR, AI-driven, bot-designed microtransactions. With cloud gaming. That's right, you can pay a subscription service to get infinite content. No need to pay those pesky developers. Like what, Nerzos? I mean, possibly, but give me an example. The fact that we're not even like halfway through this nonsense is ridiculous. I know I was watching TV when I did this last time I did this. I don't remember what I was watching, but I have distinct memories of just staring at the TV, and every time it paused to prompt me, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. They walk during the day. Holy crap. I'm curious how they survived that. Adding some kind of a map is an interesting idea. Hello. Huh. I mean, I already mentioned my fix for this. Make it optional. Add more stuff to it and make it optional. Boom. I think I need to let it go below. Hang on. Let's pull up the walkthrough. Okay, it needs to actually vanish. I mean, I can actually see the grid. If you look down, like the textures, it's pretty obvious. But I get your point. So let's keep going for a bit. That's what I'm here for, Spartan. Although I'm sorry, I shouldn't correct you, Savicom. I get what you mean. You mean that there's a certain number of steps per grid. Why bother, Gavator? I also don't know how to. Well, I guess I could just watch him. But he's paralyzed by the heat, Gavator. Well, we killed him instead of learning heal from him. That's basically the same thing, right? I healed him of his life. Oh. How expensive is it? Wow. Okay. 18. Hit me, Ross. Actually, it varies per sage, Ross. For example, several of them are clearly alive when you first meet them, and then they're clearly not the second time you meet them. Two examples right off the top of my head are Ruto and Goron guy. I can't think of the name of it all of a sudden. Darunia, yeah. By contrast, Saria was probably dead when we got to the forest, to the temple. Yes, Ross. By that point, they're already dead. Like all of them. Spirit Lady died in the past, actually, so she technically died before the game even began. No, I'm kidding. That would be funny, though. Okay, so I have to do this. Rauru is the only one I'm not sure about. Good night, Crazy Norse. I'll see you tomorrow for more Breath of Fire 3. And Pico got it. You know what? That's a good spot for that. He doesn't do much with his AP, and he's got a decent chunk, so I'm with that. And then we'll flee, as a thank you. I spare your life. So now Pico has a legit thing. Thank you, Gavator. Depends on the timing, Ross. But based... Oh, it changed my position. Hang on. Oh, time to start going north. So now I go north for 3 days, I want to say? I mean, we just go north until we run into it, I think. I wonder if you could just walk right for it. Like, hypothetically, the map is static, right? You should be able to just go anywhere. Yeah, screw it. Let's save state and try it. As I say, if... Oh, yeah, there you go. There's the map. There's the life armor. That's way out of the way. Look at that. And there's the sword, which, yeah, it's never happening. Depends, Eternus. It's always case by case. It's always case by case. Okay, so that's Papa save state. As opposed to Mama Pays save state. This is a Papa save state. You know, honestly, that's always kind of bugged me, Ross. And that's my answer to that. It's really sad that it's that small, relatively speaking. That also means it's way out of the way to go get the armor and weapon. Way out there. Like I said, I'm glad the experience is pretty good out here, at least. Getting a little low on water. Why the volcano? Oh, because the magma man or whatever. Magma man and ivory dice or something like that. And you use the ferry to hit the dice. Yeah. Apparently you don't waste dice in them, so I don't know. I know nothing. Why do we have to go through all this? We're almost there, right? Aren't we? Yeah, tell me about it. really low on water. Uh, we have a slight problem. I can no longer see the oasis. It's a good question, Luca. You know that 2 of my worst reviewed games of all time are Capcom games? Well, luck and throwing stuff at the wall is the actual answer to your question. Capcom were never afraid to try things, so they did. So they have some, like, one of my favorite games of all time, Mega Man X1, and one of my worst favorite games of all, or my least favorite games of all time, Mega Man X7. I mean, even this very game was made by people who had no idea what they were doing. And by this game, I mean this franchise, Both 1, was made by people who were just like, let's try and make an RPG. Okay. And lo, it were so. I mean, honestly, ditto. We're almost down to our last water. I don't actually know, Luco. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are sufficiently off track that it's not going to happen. And I'm just going to accept that. And accept the experience from being out here. We've gained several levels. So that's always nice. Although we do have some hard boss fights coming up. So who knows how well that'll benefit. part of the problem is I have no real way of telling where I am at the moment. That kind of sucks. I wish I could see the damn thing. Well, let's go for broke. This is our last bit of water. Yeah, we're out of water. So let's see what happens. Yeah, Nina, I need you to be our camel. Certainly doing better on the AP front now, aren't we? Look at Trio's AP at this point. This is kind of the going for broke moment. If we're gonna make it, we're gonna make it. If we're not, we're not. Yeah, he's on dais. AP for the win. Yeah, I think we have actually passed it. I think you are correct. Yeah, okay, well, let's rewind to here then. Yes, we still have Cure in this timeline. The fact that you can just teleport back is honestly kind of ridiculous, especially given this is like a week journey. But I'm not going to argue it. So let's get some water. No, there's no cheating. We have yet to cheat. Yeah, we just lay there unconscious for a week while it carries us back. No, that's not right. Alright, so new strategy. Give more negatives. Mm-hmm. Hold on, is our formation correct? Okay, just making sure. Part of the problem, too, is early on when I was trying to sort my inventory, I accidentally used one jug of water. And as a consequence, we were one jug short of where we should have been. I don't think that would have been a game changer. It just didn't help anything. And that's a good point. The onion would steal it all. The onion's like an almond, really. Eternally thirsty. Meanwhile, Pico is up to 335 health. Yeah, seriously, could you be a cactus instead, Pico? Please. It's a good question. There's a lot of games where the spells scale with spell power to make that a thing. A lot of the Final Fantasy games are like that, for example. And the previous Breath of Fire games, the spells don't really scale with like stats at all. So it's always more worthwhile to use the higher end spells because, you know, your stats don't matter for casting. And then there's games like FF1, where it's completely bugged. This way. Listen, onions are good in almost anything. You ever had fried onions with more onions on them? Really hate that 1 HP thing that they do. I have speedrunned many games, Luco. Hell, I speedrun Super Metroid at least once a year during Polemic Day. I also speedrun most Mega Man games. I have speedrun Ocarina of Time, Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy V. I thought about doing some Mario stuff, but Mario's just not quite my thing. For speedrunning, anyways. I've also looked into RTS speedruns, most notably Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2. I was going to get into Pokemon speedrunning, just for fun. Problem is, Pokemon is an extraordinarily RNG game. Like a really, really RNG game. All of them. Doesn't matter which one. And so speedrunning that is a whole lot of praying for the right RNG, or doing extra strategies to accommodate it. And it's like, yeah. And yes, I have gotten the Excalibur once, without cheating. Whichever one is the one that you get in like by doing the speed run. That's the one I'm talking about. Although I suppose at this point I could just say I've gotten every weapon in FF9 on separate playthroughs, because that's true. I actually forget the exact timer, but yeah. It is a very quick run through. FF9 is not exactly a short game. And you pretty much have to mash through every cutscene, too. Because, you know, unskippable cutscenes. I'm kind of with you, Pitkiss, but you know how fast I read. I find RPGs fascinating to speedrun because there's a whole lot of routing that goes into speedrunning an RPG. And I really enjoy routing. It's actually one of my favorite parts about speedrunning. Planning out what to do and where and how. Like, right off the top of my head, I'll give you a specific example. In the Final Fantasy VI speedrun that I was doing, one of the things you want to do very, very early on is you want to buy, I think it's 2 fire and 1 frost rods from Thamasa. The reason why is because that way Celeste can break them when fighting the tentacle boss in Figaro during the World of Ruin section. And planning out stuff like that is honestly fun for me. I like thinking about stuff like that. I like trying to be like, okay, hang on. If I spend 30 seconds doing this thing here, 2 hours from now, I will save 3 minutes, right? I enjoy that. Hell, my FF6 Kefka race was something like that. Because during the Kefka race, I actually went out of my way to do a sidestep in South Figaro to get a haste shoes, which Hermes sandals, which automatically casts haste on one party member. And that is a huge time sink, but the amount of time it saves across the entire rest of the sequence is extraordinarily useful, right? In addition to the obvious fact that it allows you to, act faster in battle. Did you know that if you are hasted, you run from battles faster? And a lot of the battles in the Sabin section in particular, I run from on purpose. So, easier time of running in addition to just being better off in combat. Sorry, Drac. Time to kill you. You deserve to die. For existing in this world. Death is a release. Oh, sorry. Listen, I am a sucker for logistics. I always have been. I have freed your head from the rest of your body. Oh yeah, I also hate this song. Hate's an exaggeration. I am not fond of this song. So that doesn't help anything either. I actually rather like desert songs in general. Mario games, FF games, Secret of Mana. This is not one of those. This isn't even on my desert playlist. Yes, Gavator. I don't like how meandering it is. I don't like the primary melody, if you can call it that. I don't know, it feels too much of a meandering song, which tends not to be my kind of thing in general. It is also on quite a short loop. A problem very common to Breath of Fire series. If I could use a counterexample for a second here. So hang on a second. So when I think of desert songs, I think of songs more like this. Much more upbeat, and yet the harmony has the same general chill vibe of what a desert theme usually has. And there's actually 3 layers of percussion that are carrying the melody, while the harmony is actually pushing the primary focus of the song into the background. Now, this already seems kind of simple, but no. There's actually another layer that hasn't even started yet. Also, the harmony has had a couple of things separate for it, but hi, that Jake guy. Excuse me, that one Jake guy. Apologies. Very good. Yes, this is Donkey Kong Country. Returns, specifically. It's even looped yet. That's actually really funny. Is it ever gonna actually loop? Whatever, let's move on to another one. That's not the one I wanted. I mean, yeah, Donkey Kong Country is cheating, which is why I'm going to skip over to Earthbound. Notice once again a heavy focus on that kind of percussion. I don't remember what that instrument's called, but it carries a fairly strong melody up front. Much more focus on melody this time around. And notice it kind of hands off the melody to what I believe is a sitar. And the harmony is actually picked up by the whatever it is. Now, there's other ways to go with this kind of a song, though. To use a more classic example of a desert song. Notice once again an emphasis upon the percussion layer. Love the strings. Secret Amount of Strings sampling was so good. Although, honestly, this is one of the very rare songs I think was actually even better in the remake. To wit... And notice how it actually softens the percussion while adding extra layers in the background. Effectively a harmonic percussion layer. And notice how, even though the melody certainly goes harder, it's still got a little bit more fluidity to it. Also noticing some similar instruments across most of these. Now hang on. I'm going to bore you a little bit more, because Mario games tend to do well about this kind of thing too. For example, notice we are once again at the same instrument. Heavy focus on the percussion there, but only as the bridge this time. And of course, a lot of Mario games have desert things. But... is this it? If you want something softer... in total contrast to the previous ones, no percussion layer at all. If you're paying attention, it's because the background strings were taking up the same slot as what the percussion normally would. It's the second layer of strings, not the first one, that's forming the harmony. This is from World of Warcraft. Of course it is. And just for you. Unfortunately, I can't mute the game. You're just gonna hear two songs now. Anyways, rant off. Go. Let's go, 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 let's go. I kind of like the Twilight Princess version a little bit more, too, personally. Yeah, FF10 has an interesting desert song. FF10-2 has an even more interesting one. Oh, yeah, speaking of atmospheric... another way to do more of an atmospheric desert song. Notice almost all the atmospheric desert songs lean heavily on strings to pull it up, which makes sense. Because, musically speaking, deserts and overworlds, that is, say, grasslands, tend to fill the same slot. And yes, that is FF12. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention... oh, hang on, wrong one. There you go. Okay, meme's over. Let's go. Actually, Kingdom Hearts. Agrabah. We're about 2/3 of the way through water at this point. Never, Eternus. Never. Oh my god, I think we made it. Are we there yet? Oh my god. We made it to a boss fight. By the way, this is such bullcrap. Don't worry, it's not actually a hard boss. If this was a hard boss, this would be its own separate negative. I'm just saying. But no, instead, this is just like a bump in the road. Yeah, imagine a hard boss fight at this point. No warning, no nothing, just, hey, you made it. Screw you. We did have a warning. A walkthrough. Yeah, that's an interesting point, Savicum. Yeah, you can save at the camps. Like I said, this is not a negative. It could have been. As much as I bash the desert, and I do, it could have been so much worse. Let's play with this for a second. Let's do Infinity Trance. And Radiance. You grabbed power food. Ow! Oh my god, we went blonde. I don't actually remember ever using Infinity, so I was a little surprised by that. Yeah, I gotta say it right. Bahamut. Yeah, Kaiser just absolutely chews through mana. That's the downside. It would honestly be a lot better move to go with something like Force here. But I wanted to show off Kaiser at least once. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off after this boss fight. Mostly 'cause it's a good time to spot, or pause, excuse me. It's a good spot to pause. But also because my dinner's here, so. Probably Venters. Also, the people who wrote the lines that Anduin and Thrall said are literally not the people who wrote the previous lines. Yeah, we managed to make it through the friggin' desert. Don't worry. I would never do something crazy like actually stop in the middle of a boss fight. That's absolutely insane. Fear not.